Welcome to 7th grade history. It's going to be a really interesting year in history this year as we are completely reforming our entire curriculum. This year, instead of working in a timeline where we would typically move from the beginning of the United States being founded until the Civil War, we're going to be looking at things from the lens of a concept instead. And how that is different is students are given an essential question and we look at small moments of history. During this time, I implement little stories to let them know our historical past. But most of the work is going to be students researching about history and starting to internalize our history and just learning in depthly about why our nation was founded. We at this time have two concepts that we're going to be working through the year. Our first concept is what is power? We are just now finishing up our leadership mini unit on power. Students have been investigating leaders throughout our entire history. And then next week, they're going to actually present what they learned about their two leaders and why they were powerful pieces to our nation. And then we also go in a timeline order. So the first people that will be starting will be George Washington and John Adams, and they'll be talking about their presidency. And then we go all the way up to modern history. So as students are learning about the leaders, then I incorporate small bits and pieces about their historical time. The benefit to this is that students really take on a deeper understanding of our nation, and concepts are just easier for students to learn versus memorization of dates and times and events that maybe really don't need to be studied in great detail. It's more about learning to become a citizen of our nation and hoping to create changes in our nation that are for the better. Some of the skills we'll be using this year is for students to annotate thinking, to show me what they're thinking about their topic. Making connections is huge, as we'll make connections across history all year long. So we won't be looking at events in isolation. They will just constantly be brought up through the entire year. Students will be using sources, and we're going to be focusing on a lot of comparing and contrasting of different time periods. If you have any questions for me, please reach out. This is different for us. I'm sure that this is a different concept for you as well for history, but I think if you were to ask your child about the leader that they have been studying, they would have some really interesting conversations with you about their leaders and just what they did historically. It's been really interesting to see the level of depth that students have been taking on in the classroom and just their excitement with little small things that they didn't know about people. And then we'll be applying them to how that goes across our entire nation through the power that they had. My email and my extension are right here for you. If you also are not a part of Microsoft Teams, we have a homework website that is phenomenal. It allows kids to know what we're doing and when they have assignments due, and we can allow parents or guardians to also be a member of that. So feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. Thank you.